And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this Ocean Core pair programming by Lombiq series. And we are back here with Hisham because Hisham was our guest last week too, or a little bit more than a week before, because it was last Monday. And what we looked at was some decoupled CMS development. So what Hisham is also showing now is a website for the Quality Training Academy, which is an agency from Saudi Arabia. And we have seen how to extend this site with some features in the decoupled approach. Today, we'll continue that. We'll build some new features, and we'll see what kind of issues the law of Murphy will bring us, as it is always during demos. So, Hisham, up to you, and we can start.
Okay, thank you, Sultan, for having me. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, according to where you are. Last time we did the first part of decoupled CMS, and we show how we start with razor pages and render the data from the Orchard core. Today, we will build a new module from scratch. We choose a gallery module that contains images and videos. And this time, we will use an MVC. So this time, we will mainly focus on the UI part. And let us dig in.
And so, sorry, just to clarify, you say that we are now building the front end with in the vanilla MVC approach that will then interface with Orchard Core?
Yes, exactly.
All right, great. Let's see.
Okay, cool. So this module should contain mainly two things. The first page, I will translate it to English for the audience. Okay, the photo or the image gallery. So here there are several of albums, and each album has many pages that you can switch between them. Each album contains an image and title and description. Same thing for videos. We have an albums, and each album has a set of videos. So with that, let's start. The solution is already open. First of all, we will create a new module, an Orchard Core module. As usual, we could add a new Orchard Core module, either from a template or from CLI. But this time, I can make an Orchard Core module. So as usual, we can set the project name and the path for that module. So for the time, I already create a blank module that contains a reference for the required packages. And one more thing, if you notice, I upgraded because some of the feedback I get, I update all the entire project to the latest version. So as usual, as any MVC application, we need to start with controllers and views. This is an empty controller, image gallery controller that will handle the image gallery, just a normal MVC controller that contains an index action that just open a view. And I set the route to to access this view from gallery/image. And if you notice here, I mark this controller with the feature. So when this feature is enabled, so I'm able to access this view. So the question is, where shall I set the features?
And sorry, just one thing here. So you're creating a module for this.
Yep.
This is usually what I've seen in decoupled applications is that the whole front end is part of the web project. Within that web project, there can be modularization and structure, of course, but still there are no modules that would serve the front end. The back end, yes, and some content management functionality, yes, but not the front end. But this will be for the front end, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Okay, so now we have this controller, and if we go to the manifest, as usual, for any orchard module, we can define a set of features. It depends on the business needs. So we have here an image gallery feature that we can toggle it on and off from the admin. And if we go to the views, to the image gallery, I just copy and paste from the page that I showed before. It is just a normal HTML, nothing fancy. And now when I go to the, let me translate again. Okay. Okay, the media center, go to the image gallery or photo gallery. I should see the same page as before. So translate. And this is just a normal view, just it rendered from our module. So now we need to read the data or render the data from the orchard core. So for this, let us think, because we need to create some content types for this module. And for this particular page, we think there is a set of image albums or albums in general, and each album has several images inside. So with that, we can create the content type, as we said before, either from the admin or we create a migration.
Sorry, Hisham, just to clarify, this template that you have showed is just a static one, just for testing for now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Oh, okay, so now we will make it actually get the data from the Orchard Core database from content items.
Yep, exactly. Because as we noticed, like the migrations, this I just created myself. But if you create a new module, I think you will find controller and views only. So with that, okay, we will create an image migration. So like we said last time, we need to inherit from data migration. And after that, we will create the actual migration. So let's do this. We need the iContent definition manager because we need to create parts and types, and simply I create an attachable part image that contain a description and picture according to what we have here, because each image has a title, description, and picture. So that's it. There's a description, and here we have a field for a picture. So it is not a multiple, just a single page, single image or picture. And we need to create a title part. So with that, I think we are able to create our first content type. we name it an image. So in summary, the image will contain a title, a picture, and description. So this is the simple thing for the image. Now let us think for the album. If you notice, the album is just like act as a container for the image. So as we know, for AutoCore, if we need to create a relation, there are multiple ways. One of them is the list. So now I will create a new content type called like an image album that has a list of images. So again,
Before we go there, I wanted to ask you this last time as well. What was it, Visual Studio extension or Visual Studio configuration perhaps, that shows you the type name, just where your cursor is, that field parameter is of type content part field definition builder?
This one?
Yeah.
I remember this is a built-in feature in tools in the VS. It is not an extension.
Okay, because I don't have it.
Okay. Yes, it will recognize like the field and the implicit type for you. It is useful sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you can tweet about it later if you figure it out, or if you can find it. I would be very interested in it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So this is the first migration, as we said. Okay, we will create this migration. And now we will go to the album. Similar thing, because as we said, we need to spend our time in the UI part. There is an image album migration. Same thing, we need to create a content type called image album. Be creatable, listable, draftable, and secureable with the display image album. And if we go again, each album has a title. So we need to create a title part for that content type. Last thing, we need to add a list part. So each image album will contain a set of images. So we can set it using the contained content type. So the image album will contain a set of images. It is something similar like the blog and the blog posts. And we could set the page size, how many images will be rendered in the admin. I remember last time we complained about these static values. We could create a constant for clarity constants. And public.
For those who are new to such constants, we very commonly create constants for strings that we use all the time, like content types, content.
Yes.
Content part names, not because we reference directly them with name of, but yeah, if you notice the same string being used over and over, and it's important that it's actually the same string.
Exactly.
And especially if you use it in multiple modules, do what Hisham does.
Yes, exactly, because sometimes it's happen like you miss a letter and you need to figure out what's going on. So for that, we will use constant.image content type. And here we will use constant for image content type. And again, if we go to the image type, we need to create constant dot content type. Okay, it is fine. Now we finalize the image album and image content type. And last thing, we need to go to the startup. Here we have the first startup class that will be on when this feature is enabled. Now we need to call services.add data migration, and we need to specify image migration. Similarly, .add data migration image open. I think with that, if we build the app and run it, it should call this add data migration when enable the feature for the first time. So if we go to the gallery, because it is by default it's enabled, but if I disable it and enable, just for the first time, when you enable this feature, this code will be executed and it will add a few entries in the database to keep track of the migration that we built. I think this is
just a small thing here. I think you can use these are fluent methods, so you can chain them onto each other, so it's a little bit more compact.
Okay, yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. We can close.
Or it's also a matter of preference, whether you like fluent interfaces.
Yes, because maybe I didn't notice that it returned iSurface collection, because if it returned iSurface collection, like we will use it like a fluent API. So thank you. So with that, I think we finished the content modeling just for the image open and images. So now it is time to make this view dynamic. As we know, we need to go, if we go to the content definition, content type, we should have an image album and image. And if we notice here, we can create a new album, give it a name, or we list the items for that album. I already have a set of albums, but we can create a new one. And because the image album is a list, so we can, if we click this button, we can create an entries or an image for a particular album. Because for our data modeling, we said that each album has a set of images. For that, we can create an image per album. So now it is time to go to the view. This is the view, image gallery. This is the static view. Now we need to fetch the data from the Orchard core and render it here. So this is where is the controller, go here.
By the way, I noticed here that you have UI labels in Arabic. Is this usually how you do? Because of what we are doing in our projects, for example, even if the website will be primarily in a non-English language, we'll use we will write everything in English, including the UI labels, and then we'll use PO5s to localize them.
Oh, yes, you are right. It will be much better, I think. But for me at that time, I created in Arabic because I know Arabic, but you are right. We could create the resource for the localization resource keys as English. And then for the Arabic .po, we will localize this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And this is also, I think, this is also very good because in case after a while or after a year, we need to support another language. No need to go to all the pages. Just we will add a new enable the content localization, add a new culture and new BO file, and everything will work. Sorry, not content localization, and we simply will add a new BO file for like France or Hungary or whatever. It depends on the client. You are right on this one. So now,
yeah, I was so that would be one approach certainly, because currently it's not localizable. What I was referring to that we use T strings, but then in the code files, in the CSHTML files, we have English labels. So even if the site was in Arabic, we would have English everywhere here in the code, and then we would only actually turn it into Arabic or anything non-English with PO files. Yeah, so pretty much that's what we do. Is this not the approach you take?
Yes, this could be doable, but for me, I need to go to the PO and translate each one. That is my case, because for that, I just made it an Arabic, which is like a neutral language, and also, if I made it like this, so the key will be in Arabic. But in almost, I think, in almost ASP application, we wrote the keys with English language, then we are translated. If I go back at the first day, maybe I see this is better for me instead of creating the BO files and translate each key. But it is doable, as I said, and maybe it is much better in case if we need to add a new language or culture later on. Cool. So now it is time to fetch the data from the Core backend. Let's go to the controller here. Let us try to use the session. I think we could use the session. Session here, then create field. So what we will do here, we need to go to our database and try to render the albums first, retrieve the albums. Perhaps there are many ways we could go albums or query equal await session dot thing. I think there is a query extension. Using, I'm not sure which one is the right namespace. Okay, that's the one here.
Not that one.
Yes. That's this is.
Yeah, now it's good.
The issues that I suffer many times. I consider the I session is came from the SQL, but accidentally it comes from the ASP session. Now we should have a query content item index. Yes, that's okay. What we will do, we will filter our content items. dot content type equal constants dot image album content type. So we will retrieve all the content types of type image album. List async. And one more thing to make it.
Yeah,
perfect.
probably you'll need to make that action async.
Okay, yes, you're right. One more thing before I did that, we need to retrieve the published version. And as you said, we need to mark this as task of iAction result. So now we will retrieve all the image albums and all the albums that are published. And we will retrieve this as a model to our view. So now if we go to our view, we could declare our model. So we go to the controller, the type will be IEnumerable of content item. So IEnumerable of content item. And I think we need a using for the author core content management. So now we need to dig into the markup, and this is the UL, this is the LI. So I presume each LI is an album. So
and where did you get this code, by the way? Is this coming from the sample of that glide block?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Regarding the markup, because when we develop a new website, maybe the web designer will provide us an HTML page with CSS with the required assets. So simply, I just copy the gallery. Where is it? The gallery. Let me clear here. This one. This is the block. No, sorry, this is video gallery. This is the image gallery. It's this one. And if we open the source, fine. Yes, I just copy this block because after understanding the markup, this is the div that contains all the albums. So I just copy paste this from the HTML into our view. Also, I think also, if we go here and we inspect, same thing, we could notice that each one of these album is like an LI list item with specific class, like a gallery underscore item. So with that, I need to remove all of them, and we will use just one for a template. And now we need to do some razor for each var album in model. This one. So now the album is of type content item. So this one should be the title for that album. So I will set album dot display text, okay, because we have a title part. Now, if we
say one more thing about localization, since that's your specialty anyway. We had with a remark in the chat.
Yep.
So by Apache Gaming is that there's also some or there are packages to load not PO files but other kind of resource files for localization, for string localizer. I would assume also for HTML localizer. In this case, JSON and JSON-C.
Yes.
Have you perhaps used those, or are you aware of those? And if you used, why or why not?
That's the question. I should use a JSON or any other localization resource other than the BO, or the ability, if I can use it or not, to make it clear.
Sorry, say the last sentence again.
I mean, is the question is there is the ability to choose other than the BO file, or the question, shall I use it in our sample here?
Yeah, it's not the question whether it's possible. It definitely is.
Okay.
Just whether you use anything as MPO files, and if yes, why? If not, why not?
Yes, we could. Why not? We will see if we have time. We could, because I remember here. GitHub. Okay. Luckily, cool. I have a package, sorry, over Charcoal, trip here.
What are you looking? Oh, okay.
Yes, I already have a package for this one, the Orca core contrib, that allow us to use the JSON like this. Okay, Orca core contrib dot localization dot JSON.
Ah, you actually have that.
So
okay, fine.
Yes,
cool.
we because each one, it depends on your needs, but it is possible. This is I think in ASP.NET stuff. It is not the case of Orca core, but because in Orca core we need to support one of the important concepts, pluralization, which is not implemented by default in the ASP. So the BO file is one of the format that support BO file, pluralization, and it is cross-platform. But you can implement your own. Okay. So what we did, we looked through all the model or all the albums and display the display text. Now, if we build the project, we should see, I think, two albums. We have two albums. Sorry. Okay, it is now. Okay, let me cancel it. Okay, we go back. Yes, we have two albums. If I go here, not this one, not this one, not this one, but this one, and refresh it now, we should choose two albums. And I think we need to rename it like album 1. So no need for translation, and album 2. Publish it. And we have it, album 1 and album 2. So the remaining is we need to change the picture for that album, and then we will take care about the count. So let's go again here, and we will look into the image. This is the image, and according to the markup, on each list item, there are several images that represent the images inside the album. So that is one thing. And I think, if I click this one. Yes, according to the current design, it will display the first image by default. So here, there's a two anchor tag, and each one contains an image tag. So by default, each album will show the first image. So we need to render those images from the image content type or the album dot list item. So how we could do that? We need to do another for each, because each album contains many images. So now var image, we need to go to the album, which is a content item dot content dot according to our migration here, we have a list part called images, which is represent the images. So now if you go to the content dot images, it should retrieve the list of the images. But let me do one thing. I think our favorite orchard helper.
What do you need it for?
I remember orchard helper has a useful method as usual. As I said before you no need to implement, or before you plan to implement a new helper, maybe it will be available in the orchard helper. If we go to the orchard dot, yes, this one. I think we have two query list items async and query list item count async. This one, you can give it a list content item ID, and it will count how many content types in a particular list, which is useful for our case if we need to render the count for each album. And the second one, query list items, we need to give it a list content item, and it will retrieve all the content item in a specific part. So with that, I think we need this helper. If we go here, what we will do, like await orchard dot query list item async, and we need to pass the list content item ID, which will be in the album dot content item ID. Now I think it is clear. For each album, we will pass the ID for that album, and we will retrieve all the images, and we will loop through all the images. So again, I will copy one of those anchors here. And let us have a title to make sure it is okay. Image dot display text. And here again, image dot display text.
And Drew in the chat, by the way, in the meantime, found which Visual Studio feature provides that type label that you also have on line 33. Yeah, that's one.
Yes, this is helpful. Yes,
yeah,
I will try to.
No, she found it. It's could you please open that just quickly to show it to everyone? It's under tools options.
Yes, tools options.
Text editor.
Yes, yes, text editor.
You can also search for it at the top. But you could
Yes,
even search for the concrete option. And you need to open the text editor and still under C#. Yeah, and advanced. You also need to open that one. Yeah, advanced. And there's a display inline hints, inline type hints somewhere here. Oh, this is very long.
Display.
Yeah, this is display inline type hints. Type.
Yes, 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 this one. And there are a lot of options. This
yeah,
one.
those one. Yeah, that's
for the type. It is useful. It is useful. Like this one, I will know it is a content type. And also, I think if you click this one, double click, remember in the C#, it will the C# code, it will convert it from the implicit var to the actual type if you want. Okay, thank you. True. Okay, now we use the new helper for the list. So if we remember, previously we used the get content type, and we also the asset URL and the recent, and this is, I think, a fourth one, which is useful when you deal with a list part. So for each image, we display the display text. Let's do it very quick. Now, we should, if you notice, the image 1, the image 2, that came from, we go here, image 1, image 2, and to make sure, if we go here, let us change this one, like motion control image or something in the open one. Yes, this one. So the data came from the backend. And now very quick, we will use the same previous asset URL helper for the image. So instead of the long, so this one, the source, there's helper orchard dot asset URL. We will go to the image. It is content. Content, yes, I dot picture dot paths dot 0. So where this come from? Here we have an image. Each image has a field called a picture. So go to the content. Just let me make sure this is a part. So we need to make it content dot the part name image dot the field name, then the path 0, because we only have one image and we need to cast it to string because this is a dynamic value. Same thing, we need to copy this one to the href. I'm not sure why the designer did it here, but I will use it as it is. Now I think we should have the picture now. Yes, now the images has been changed. We have a title. Pictures has been changed according to what we have in the admin. Cool. We can do the same thing for the description, but because I didn't want the time, let us focus on this one. How we can change the number of the images. I think we could do it in 2 ways. one way we could use like albums. We could go to the album and then into the list part and get the total of the entries. But as I said, usually perhaps there's a helper, there's a query list items count async that require a list content item ID, which we have it, album.content item ID. So we pass it the content item ID. Hey, please give me the count of the list item for the particular album. I think with that change, we are able to see the number. Oops. Yes, it is my bad because it is an ASIC method. I need to go wait. That's why it chose like a task of system int. Now, cool. Here we have 3 images and here we have 5. And to make sure, if we go, this is 3. We go to that second album. We should have 5 images. And that's it, I think, for this feature. So now everything is rendered from the orchard backend, the album image, album title, the number of the contained image. Also, each image we display the picture and the title. As I said, we could do the same thing for the description. Any question until here? Otherwise, we had a
discussion in the chat about tab size. Let's shoot. We have about 8 more minutes.
Okay.
But we are at a pretty good checkpoint now. So what do you think?
So, okay, sorry, one thing, a very quick one. Also, it will be nice for the admin to manage those albums, either album images or videos. We could create an admin menu very quick. I will use a code snippet very quick. We need to create an admin menu, create a new, like, for example, image, gallery, admin menu. This one, this time I will use snippet for menu. Okay, this one.
So now we are creating an admin menu that will point to where?
Yeah, it's just a shorthand for instead of go to the content items and then choose the image album, then manage the album. We could create a shortcut for that.
Okay. Any reason why you wouldn't add an admin menu with the admin menu module?
Yes. I think this is the short and easiest way you can do it from the admin. Okay, but okay, yeah, we have choices here. Okay, we have 2 choices. We could do it programmatically, and you have control. You can apply certain permissions, and you can load these menus from external resources like a database, whatever. And if it is just simple static menus, as you said, we could go to the admin menu module and create it from the admin, which is very simple. And I think all the methods are well documented in in the Orchard docs. So for now, I just create a gallery node or menu, and there is a sub menu for the images that simply go to the admin list and specify the content type image album. I think with that we need only just services.add scoped in navigation provider image. Sorry, not album. Sorry, I name it. Okay, this one. This one. I think that's it. Now, when the feature is enabled, this menu should be appear. When it is off, it should disappear. So if we go here, now we have a menu gallery and the image, but if we notice, we need sort of icons. For the icons, also very simple, we can create, I can refer this to the, let me copy one of those. And there is a convention for the naming, navigation, text, gallery, .id. So what we basically did, we created a view that contains a span and just an icon with the font also icon. But if we notice, the naming is very important here, the convention. If we go to the menus, so these IDs is something special because we use a gallery ID here. And same thing, we could create another one for an image. Very quick, this one. And we need to make sure we didn't miss anything. Yes, it is images, not image. So this images.
Yeah, so the importance of
yes,
yes.
No, yes, and also if we dig into the source, everyone should have a sample for those in the views. We have many of them like this, the email module. Now we have it. Gallery now have an icon and images have an icon, and it is just a shortcut for the gallery. Just a little note here for like admin menu. We notice we decorate this class with the feature and also the controller. If I'm not wrong, you can correct me, Sultan. Here, I think in the latest bits of Orchard, I think this is no need to decorate the controller. I think and the admin menus with the feature, it will automatically shows now. Because I remember there's a PR that will allow us not to decorate the controllers and the admin menus, especially. I remember the admin menus and the permission with the feature attribute. Okay, I think that's it. We have
a question, Hisham. Thank you. Yep. This, by the way, if you need more examples of menus or admin controls, normal controls, there are lots in the Orchard core source as well. We had a question from Zig. Could you please go back to the CS HTML file where you had that get count whatever with the orchard helper?
Okay, that one. Let us clear everything about this. I think there was an option, but that's okay. This one.
Yeah, that query list items count async indeed.
Yes.
And yes, so Zig asked whether it's possible to get the query of matched items. Get the number of matched items from a query, so not from a list part, but rather from a iSession query, I believe.
Yes, I think you have the power and the control. So here, what we did here is just a simple query. I think there are a lot of methods like a count, any, and you can with the session, because as we know, the Orchard code helper is just simplifying the iSession queries, and it is useful for use it from the views. But if you need the control, okay, you can inject the session and do whatever you want. You can, for example, I need to filter by content type, publishing, and a specific author. I need to count them. And what I encourage everyone, like this one, for example, the one that I showed here, this one. Simply, we could go to the Orchard code and we will learn from the source. Sorry, yes, I think we should have it into the list module. Where is the list? Yep, this one. Helpers, this one, yes. If you notice here, this one is basically behind the scenes is just a session, like what we did in the controller. Use the session, query your content item with the condition or the predicate that you want, and then you can count them or retrieve them or do whatever. As I said,
probably the important thing to understand here is that you can look behind the method. The full source is there.
Exactly.
And Orchard Core will tell you how to use it.
Yes, because especially if you build or develop any web application, maybe you will face a case that you need a helper, but it is not built in. So you can do it yourself. And that is one of the good examples that I noticed in Lombiq. You build a helper libraries because while creating or developing web application or website, sometimes you need a special helper, and Orchard Core maybe doesn't have it by default, and you can create it yourself. And as you said, you can dig behind the Orchard helper and look into the code.
Yes. So thank you, Hisham. This will be probably a good final remark.
Okay, thank
you. Thank you for being here again, and thank you for this interesting demo and pair programming session of building an image gallery. So now I hope the audience is a bit more up to date on how to interact with content items to build some cool features on the front end. Yes. So thank you for everyone out there for joining us today as well. We'll have a next session as well, so our series will continue. And it will be again on Monday, but also at the same time at 5 p.m. UTC on the 17th. And we'll be back with Apache Gaming we'll be back with Matthew who is going by the name Apache Gaming in the chat, and sorry, Peter Matthews, who goes by the name Apache Gaming on the chat and on YouTube, and also on Discord. It will be also a decoupled project. It's with Blazor though, so we'll go back to the decoupled approach, but this time something new, something that we cover on the Lombiq YouTube channel actually quite rarely, and something that's also quite rare in the Orchid community to begin with, Blazor. So Blazor built on or using Orchid Core. So thank you everyone. Again, please subscribe to the channel to get notified about such live streams. We'll publish them. They publish this one in a few today as well. And if you are interested in live events like this, we'll have a very important live event coming in September, since we'll have our Orchid Harvest conference in Las Vegas. So be sure to join us there too.
Sorry, yeah? Sultan, just 1 second before I forget, because last time some of the folks asked for like a sample. I will share this link with you guys in the GitHub or Discord. I will push the code from my local. It should have a basic orchard code, Decoupled, and maybe other from the community convert the same application using liquid or headless and Blazor, probably Blazor. Just I forget to mention that, and thank you.
Okay, yeah, please. So the Orchid Core contrib is Hisham's project. I will share the link in the chat, and he has a huge amount of useful modules, also a couple of themes, I believe, and well, now samples too. So I'll link to it. So thank you everyone for taking part, and we'll let you know about the next stream about Blazor. So thank you everyone. Bye bye.